The emergency beacon had been quiet for 3 hours. Corv led his pack through the glasswood forest of Thorosa Fort with one clear purpose: find the missing. Make the ones who took them pay. The trees here were crystal and living at once. Their limbs held light like trapped stars. Every step made a soft chime under the pack's weight. The Kathry were apex hunters on 17 worlds. Their name was carved into the outer rim in claw marks and burned metal. When one of theirs went silent, vengeance was not debate. It was breath. It was blood. It was law ahead. The human settlement showed between the trunks like a sore on the land. Pre-built walls. Thin roofs. A ring of lights that fought the night and lost anyway. KORV's lips pulled back, showing serrated teeth. Humans new to the stars. Already spreading into places that were not theirs. Too fast, too bold. Too loud. 3 of his pack were missing. 3 cubs barely past their first molt. Sent on a proving hunt into these same woods, their last signal was broken. A scream, a burst of weapons fire, then nothing. The pack had followed their scent to this nest. KORV raised one massive paw. 12 warriors froze at once. Surround, KORV growled. His voice was a low rumble that shook ribs. Leave none alive. They moved like black wind. 12 Kathry warriors, each nearly 3 meters tall, muscle-packed under midnight fur. Claws that could peel starship plating. Fangs that could punch through armor. This settlement would not last 5 minutes. KORV's tactical display painted heat shapes in the largest structure. 23 humans inside. Tight cluster. Defensive angles. They knew the pack was coming. Good. Let fear do some of the work. Corv signaled the attack. Then he stopped. A scent rode the night breeze. Familiar, sharp, young his cubs. His eyes widened. Bioluminescent amber flaring in the dark. Impossible. The scent was close. Alive. Warm. Corv clenched his fist and held it high. The pack halted mid-step. Confusion stirred, but discipline held. They waited, silent and ready. KORV moved forward alone. Each step was slow, measured. His senses went wide. Tasting the air for traps and lies, the main door of the central dwelling hung open. Warm light spilled out onto the alien night. Inside, he heard breathing. Human, steady, and something else. Soft chirps. Cubs. KORV ducked to enter. His shoulders scraped the frame. The room smelled of human fabric, cooked oils, metal tools, and old work. It was cluttered with furniture and tablets and folded cloth, and in the center, in a worn chair, sat a human male. The human did not reach for a weapon. He did not run. He did not shout. He just watched. His name tag hanging from a cord read, Elias Core, and on Elias's chest, curled in a tight pile of dark fur and tiny claws, were 3 Kathry cubs, fast asleep. KORV froze. His mind refused the image for a breath. Then it slammed back in with force. Cairo, Senna. Little Mira. Miras, paw, rested on the human's collarbone. Drool darkened the shirt. Karo's tail twitched with dream hunts. Senna's ears flicked once, then settled. They were safe. Against a human, Elias spoke first. Quiet, careful. They were scared, Elias said. His voice was rough with exhaustion. Found them caught in a hunter trap about 6 kilometers west. Old trap, not ours. Maybe left by the last survey crew. KORV's gaze snapped to Mira. Her left hind leg was wrapped in clean bandage cloth. The scent of human med gel was sharp but clean. Not wrong. Not poison? She cried for hours, Lass continued. He made no sudden moves. Would not let me near at first. The other 2 stood between us, ready to fight, and they barely reached my knee. A faint smile touched Ilias's face. It looked tired, but real, brave little things, he said. Reminded me of my daughter. KORV's claws slid out without permission. They scraped the floor with a thin scream. Cinna's ears twitched. But the cub did not wake. Elias noticed the claws. He did not flinch. "I sent the signal," Elias said. "Figured someone would come looking. Figured it would be you." He nodded toward a small console on the table. A universal distress beacon blinked slow, steady broadcasting on what I hoped were your bands, Elias said. Their translator implants were damaged. Took me 4 hours to rig up something they could read. Pictographs, food, safety, help soon. KORV's heart hammered, so the broken transmission had not been an attack. It had been a crude attempt at Kathry protocol. Elias kept speaking. Like a man who had decided truth was safer than silence. "They ate," Elias said. He moved his hands slowly, pointing at empty containers. "Everything I had that was safe for them, according to the colony database. Raw meat, mostly. Cleaned out my freezer." He paused, eyes dropping to Mira. Then the little one started crying again. "Pain, I think." So I sat down. She crawled up here. He looked down at the cubs with something in his face. That KORV did not have a clean word for. The other two followed. "They've been asleep about an hour." I did not want to move and wake them. Corve studied the human as if seeing him for the first time. Elias Kor looked about 50 by human count. Lined face. Weathered skin. Hands with work calluses, not soldier scars. No armor, no hidden blade smell. No fear sent, only exhaustion and compassion. "Your pack is outside," Elias said. "Matter of fact, I know. My sensors picked them up 10 minutes ago. You came for your kids. I get it." He met Corvy's stare directly. Among Kathry direct, I was a challenge. From this human, it landed like honesty. Like a man saying, "I will not lie to you." "I had a daughter," Elias said. "She is grown now. Off-world. A family of her own. But I remember when she was small. When she needed me. When I could not leave her crying." Corv stood still. Every instinct in war with itself. Humans had sparked border fights in the last decade. Humans were called aggressive, unpredictable, too fast to trust. Humans took and built and claimed, and yet this one had saved 3 alien cubs, treated a wound, spent his food, sat unmoving for hours so they could sleep. Slowly, Corv lowered himself to the floor. His massive frame folded down, careful not to shake the room. The movement made Cairo stir. The young male blinked awake. When Cairo saw Corv, his face split with joy. A chirp burst from his throat. Father Sina woke at once. Mira woke a beat later. The 3 cubs tumbled off Elias's chest in a blur of fur and squeaks. They rushed Corv, climbing his forearms and neck and shoulders. The mighty Alpha. Terror of 17 worlds. Let himself be bowled over by 3 ecstatic children. Their relief hit him like warm rain. Elias rose slowly. He winced as blood came back into his legs. He stepped aside, giving space. One hand on the table for balance, KORV pulled the cubs close, sniffing and checking each one with a parent's frantic care. Mira's leg was wrapped well. Cinna showed stress and hunger, but no injury. Cairo's fur carried sap stains and fierce sweat. But he was whole, all 3 alive because of a human. The cubs clung to Corvius' fur, chattering in excited bursts about the trap. About the cold. About the strange, warm human who spoke in pictures. About meat and bandages and safety. Corv rose. The room seemed smaller when he stood. He turned to face Elias's core. For a long moment, they regarded each other across a gulf of species and history. Then Corv did something no Kathry Alpha had done before a human. He bowed his head. "You have my gratitude." KORV rumbled. His translator shaped the words into flat human standard. "And my oath." Elias blinked, surprised. KORV continued, voice steady. "The pack owes you a life debt, Elias Kor. If you or yours ever have need, speak my name to the wind. The Kathry will answer." Elias stared for a beat. Then he nodded once. Slow. "Just glad they are okay." Elias said. They are good kids. You raised them right. Outside, the pack waited in a hard ring of silence. 12 bodies, claws ready, eyes bright. They watched their alpha emerge, and they saw the cubs. They saw Mars' bandages. They saw the calm in the little one's eyes. They saw Cairo press his face into Korv's shoulder like the world had stopped being. Sharp understanding rippled through the warriors, slow as a tide. Korv turned back once. Elias stood in the doorway. Framed by warm light against the alien dark, Elise lifted one hand in farewell. No threat, no demand. Just goodbye, Kor, returned the gesture, translating it into the kathry sign for respect. Then he led his pack into the forest. The cubs chattered the whole way, bright and loud, telling the same small details again and again. About the trapped teeth, about the pain, about the human's steady voice, about the warm chest where fear finally let go. Behind them, Elias Kor closed his door. Only then, after hours of holding still, did Elias let his shoulders drop. He crossed to the couch and fell into it like a man whose bones had turned to water. Tomorrow, we'd have to explain to the Colony Council why a kathry war pack had surrounded the settlement. Why no one died. Why the night ended with silence instead of screams. But tonight, Elias simply slept and dreamed of his daughter. And somewhere in the galaxy, 3 alien children were home, safe, alive, and still carrying the scent of a human, who chose mercy when no one would have blamed him for fear. Asterisk, if you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Neon Cub Tales, like the video, and share it with a friend who loves HFY. Comment your favorite moment from this episode. I read the comments, and I might pin yours. Thanks for watching Neon Cub Tales.